A report just out by the global NGO Save the Children says children as young as 11 are being killed in Mozambique's province of Cabo Delgado. As the conflict there continues to displace thousands, families report horrifying scenes of murder and loved ones disappearing. It's been very difficult to get any information out of the area due to the government's restrictive information policy, but after months of waiting, our correspondent Adrian Krish was accredited and has now sent us some rare insights into the brutal situation.
We are traveling to Kirimba Island, where the United Nations World Food Programme is planning a food distribution program.
The engines are too heavy, yeah.
But our boat's journey ends at the halfway point. The tide is going out, so we have to continue on foot. The area is dangerous. On the close-by mainland, there are still regular attacks by Islamist insurgents.
We've been trekking about half an hour now. Unfortunately, we don't know really how far it is, but hopefully 2 hours. So far, the water has been very deep. Let's see how the rest continues.
We've been on the road for 3 hours through the sea and the mangroves. Then we meet the first locals. And finally, we reach the remote island, which was attacked by terrorists last year. They looted the village and murdered 2 people. When we reach the food distribution venue, the local head of administration tells us the terrorists also kidnapped 30 children. Bish Oliveira's 16-year-old daughter Mwanarabo is one of the missing children. She disappeared without a trace. These people are just evil. They come from far away, take away our children, and don't even tell us why or what they want. I am sad, I'm angry. I just don't understand. Isa Hamisi was there when Mwanarabo was kidnapped. He almost ended up in the same situation himself. They said, we are taking you with us to our camp. We will train you and teach you to shoot and make you a soldier. But 5 boys, 2 girls and myself managed to escape on the way there. After they said they wanted to make the boys into soldiers, what did they say to the girls? They said, we will make them our wives. So far there has been no international outcry because the news still hasn't got out of the island without electricity or a telephone network almost 1 year on. Many residents live in fear of another attack. Not a single soldier has been stationed here to protect them up to now.
Joining me now is Chance Briggs. He's country director in Mozambique with Save the Children International. Hello, sir. Welcome to the program. So you just released very disturbing reports from Mozambique, particularly about the killing of children in such gruesome manner. What are your major findings?
Yes, well, thank you, Micah. We're finding that children and their families are being chased from their compounds, chased from their villages, and in many cases it's quite violent. And in some cases, even children are being killed, and there are even reports of beheadings of children as young as 11, 12 years old. It's really disturbing. It sickens us to our core because, of course, children have no role in a conflict. They're innocent, and these stories just bring us to tears.
It almost brought me to tears when I was checking out the report. But why do you think children are being targeted in such a manner?
Well, Mozambique is a very, very poor country. It's the 8th poorest country in the world. And Cabo Delgado, the northernmost province, is the poorest province in the country. And yet there are tremendous resources there. And it's been perhaps underdeveloped for years. And so there is a sense that some drivers of the conflict are about development. But why target children? We're just not sure. Certainly in other conflicts, we've seen that children are trainable, children can be obedient, children are easier to control. And so in some cases, maybe children are being targeted to join the forces. And we know of stories of when they refuse, they are killed. We know of stories of 10 children being killed altogether because they refused to join the insurgents.
Well, you say that all parties to this conflict must ensure that children are never targets. That's not, unfortunately, the case because this is an insurgency and the attackers don't play by the rules. How else can children be protected?
Well, we're never going to abandon our commitment to international humanitarian law. And what's happening here is a tragedy, and it's just inconceivable. So we are calling on all parties to stop the war on children. Whether it's Mozambique or Yemen or Nigeria, we must stop the war on children across the world. Having said that, we do believe that peace is possible, and peace is what will protect the children. The Mozambican government has demonstrated in the past a willingness and ability to negotiate with enemies and with opponents. They have signed peace deals and treaties, and we believe that that should be possible in this conflict as well.
You also talk about how there's hardly enough resources available to support the displaced children. How is there a way around that?
Well, donor governments, such as the German government, can and should provide more resources to help address the needs of 670,000 people who've been displaced. And that's 1/3 of the province, the population of the province. There's tremendous needs for food, for shelter, for schooling, and even for just basic needs like female menstrual hygiene and soap and toothpaste. So there's a real need for funding, and we believe that even with all the pressures of COVID-19, that the world can and should do more.
Okay. Now, right before I let you go, is there anything positive out of all that's been happening so far?
Thank you. Well, many families are escaping to safety, and we and other NGOs are able to provide them with services. We're engaged in psychosocial care because they've gone through tremendous trauma. We're helping build classrooms to make sure children can go back to school. We're providing food and other resources. But also, sometimes when children are fleeing their villages, it's at night, and they get off track and they get lost. And so we have many instances of children being separated from their families for days and days on end, and coming to the towns and not knowing how to find their parents. And we have a process for finding these separated children and for reuniting them with their families. And I'd like to tell you, we recently helped a young boy named Sergio, 11 years old. He was separated from the entire family, but he could describe his mother, and we managed to find his mother's neighbor's phone number. And through that, we found the mother. Okay. And after 3 months of being apart, we were able to reunite this family.
Hopefully more families can be reunited. Chance Briggs, Country Director in Mozambique with Save the Children International. Thanks for your insights.
Thanks so much.